Yes, a very shaky, weak right hand. Some slight but significant issues with balance.
Good job.
Some stuttering and stammering problems when speaking. And of course, we can't make this video without mentioning the down there problems. I am going to be completely honest, I just can't. Yes, all of these issues are symptoms that have already started influencing my life here in Taiwan as a result of my recent Parkinson's diagnosis.
主要是那个啦，帕金森disease。
And in today's video, I want to try and explain to you how badly the disease and its symptoms are affecting my life in Taiwan as a foreigner, as a YouTuber, and of course, as a long-distance dad to my beautiful son William, as I try and still make the most of my life living here in Taiwan. So in this video, I'll be talking about such topics as Tao Fan, if you know, you know, health problems, daily life problems, super shaky, making money problems, and as is usual for this channel recently, I'll be opening myself up personally to you guys. Fried rice still on the menu as far as Ingwo Susu is concerned. So all that I ask in return is that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with somebody that you think will benefit from watching it. Well, let's get into the first of the topics that we're going to be discussing today, and that's going to be Tao Fan. I've had many friends asking me whether or not the Parkinson's disease has affected my ability to make. I am going to be completely honest, I just can't. Just kidding. Yes, my sense of humor has certainly not been affected. And let's be honest, is any guy going to be honest about this on this channel in front of tens of thousands of people? Well, yes. Recently, I've made a decision to be much more personal, much more open with you guys on the channel. And I have to say that my abilities have so far not been affected by Parkinson's disease or indeed the medication that I'm taking as a result of Parkinson's. Does that mean my is perfect? Absolutely not. My has been average to say the least, and it remains average as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, so far so good. Fried rice still on the menu as far as Ingwo Susu is concerned. And if you're watching this a little bit shocked at me talking so openly and honestly about it, get used to it. This is where my channel is going. A little bit more personal, open up to you guys, and let other people who are in my situation compare their symptoms and see how we affected by this disease independently of each other. And that's going to bring me on to the next topic, which is things regarding daily life tasks. The most common of which I do is probably driving the scooter. Absolutely no problems at all as a result of the Parkinson's when driving the scooter. My hand still works nice and quickly when I need to brake in an emergency. Can still turn the wheel and can certainly stop when I need to. But let's be honest, Parkinson's is no match for the usual Taichung crazy traffic. And just as my ability to ride a scooter has not been affected by the disease, my ability to ride a U-bike here in Taichung has not been affected by my balance problems. I am still an absolute legend on the U-bike. Now, another important daily task is of course eating. So to demonstrate how my eating ability has been affected or not, I've come for a super traditional Taiwanese style breakfast of cheese and bacon dumpling with a little bit of lobo gao jia den. So my chopstick skills are still exemplary, still pretty good, but there is a little bit of a wobble when I'm eating. I'm not sure if that's clear on camera, but so far not a massive impact on my life. I can still control the chopsticks, can still put food in my own mouth, which sounds ridiculous, but as the disease progresses, that will get worse. Another major effect of Parkinson's is the effect it has on your smell and taste. I remember about a year ago, everywhere I went, I could smell really delicious food, and I kept asking my friends, can you smell that delicious food? No one else could smell it. That was an early sign, an early symptom of my Parkinson's. And so far, it hasn't affected my taste. Or another part that people say it might affect is your swallowing ability. Again, so far, early stages of the Parkinson's disease, no effect on my swallowing ability. But other than my weird sense of smell, other taste factors have not been changed. Sweet is still sweet, salty still salty, savory still savory. No big effect on the way I actually taste the food. Luckily for me, I can still enjoy delicious Taiwanese food every day. Now, one other daily task that has become part of my life since my diagnosis, of course, is taking medication every single day for the rest of my life. Medicine is very important in controlling the symptoms, but I did want to include this part because according to Taiwan's national health insurance, they can pay for half a tablet a day of Rizagiline, which is fair enough, and it seems to be working, helping me control my symptoms. But the thing that I don't understand is that the tablets are so small and I have to take half a day. So what I have to do is I have to break it in half. At the moment, no problem whatsoever because my symptoms are very mild. But in the future, I can imagine having to break that in half is going to be a little bit tricky. Taken just after lunch, there are side effects that I will be getting into in another video. But yes, there's my daily task, taking my medication. On to the next one. So the next point I want to discuss is something that often gets overlooked when it comes to talking about Parkinson's symptoms, and that's the non-motor symptoms, things that affect you internally, mentally, psychologically, and these symptoms are probably where I'm being affected the most. Of course, the diagnosis itself gave me a very serious depression. I don't want to say depression, I was just really sad and down.
Okay, that's not very good news.
And angry at the universe for dealing me this hand. I've slowly gotten over that sadness and depression facing the disease, and now I'm much more positive, seeing the challenge I need to fight ahead of me. But as many of you may or may not know, one of the major factors or symptoms of Parkinson's is an imbalance in dopamine production in the brain. And yes, many of you may think that dopamine is the happiness hormone, but in fact, it's not so straightforward as dopamine causes happiness. It's much more accurate to say that dopamine plays a crucial role in reward, motivation, and pleasure, which are three factors that are strongly related to something that we call happiness. Dopamine is released in the brain when we experience something rewarding, whether that's something as small as eating a delicious food or achieving a huge life goal. Dopamine is released when we experience that thing and then makes us want to repeat that behavior in order to experience the pleasure of the dopamine being released. Dopamine helps us stay motivated and focused, which contributes to a sense of purpose, which is another element of long-term happiness. How does all of this science regarding dopamine, mental health, and non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's tie in to a video about being a foreigner in Taiwan? Well, as a single, alone living guy, it's very important for me to monitor my mental health and keep in control and understand why I'm feeling the way that I am feeling. If I just ignore it, there's a strong sense of apathy related to Parkinson's. That's something I haven't really mentioned yet. I don't care about many things in my life. Even my channel was on its arse this year for 3 months, didn't make any money. I didn't care, I didn't worry too much, didn't really work too hard or focus or drive myself forwards, and that's something I definitely have to be aware of and definitely have to focus on. With your help, with the comment section on my last videos, I have been motivated dramatically, drastically to get information out there, to get videos made, to get money made for myself and for William. So yeah, I hope you guys can understand a little bit more about my condition and how it's affecting my life in Taiwan as a foreigner, as a YouTuber, and as a long distance dad to William. And talking of being a long distance dad to William, one of the responsibilities I have is of course paying for his education and Shenghua Fei life fees in South Africa, which means I have to go to the bank and write out a form every month. It's the only time in the month where I have to use my hand for writing, and this is when I noticed last year a serious difficulty with writing, where it took me a long time to write out the form.
This is the first time I've had to send money to William since my symptoms have started, and writing is incredibly difficult.
And then after I'd completed the form, my hand was shaking, spasming, doing things that I've never seen it do before. Yeah, writing is something that I find very difficult. I have to really focus, stick my tongue out, which of course helps you focus when doing a variety of activities. But this shaking that you can see in this video is without medication. This is before I received medication, and now it's much better with the medication and I can write and get the money sent to William. But anyway, yes, that's just one other small challenge I have to face as a result of my condition. Now, of course, another big part of my life is my work, and that is something that has certainly been affected by my diagnosis. I am lucky in the fact that my job is freelance. I can work at home here at my desk with a beautiful view of Taichung City, or indeed I can work in coffee shops at my own leisure, at my own pace. I don't have a boss breathing down my neck, giving me deadlines, but I also don't have any sick pay in my line of work. If a YouTuber doesn't YouTube, then he doesn't get any money. So there is that added pressure of making videos in order to get an income, support my family, and support myself for the long-term future. There are so many aspects to my work that have been affected, from thinking logically about video ideas to executing the video, filming, going outside, getting tired very easily, and of course the actual act of editing. Using my hands to edit on the computer is something that has become very different. As my right hand tends to be a little bit slower, my left hand has started taking over some of the tasks and is doing a lot more. I've noticed if I don't actively try to use my right hand, it just kind of hovers around the mouse, doing nothing, just getting in the way sometimes. So some of you may have noticed that last year there was a slight decrease in my output. Before my diagnosis, I was putting out videos every week, every Friday, but last year and earlier this year, that kind of dropped to 2 or 3 videos a week, which, when you're a YouTuber, severely affects income. My income dropped by almost half compared to this time last year, just because I wasn't able to put out as many videos as possible. One other thing I am considering is that sponsored videos and brand deals may be affected. I'm not too sure if some brands want to or maybe don't want to work with a Parkinson's patient. I'm not sure how that will affect their brand image. So I am a little bit worried about putting my my status online, but I do think in the long run, it's gonna help a lot of people, inspire a lot of people to be open and share their negative stories and get it off their chest. I'm waffling again. On to the next topic. And the next point I want to talk about is my mobility and ability to walk, for which I've come to a location that I often like to take a stroll here at Taiwan Park. And to be honest, my walking mobility has been affected. I would say I'm at 95% perfect walking mobility. There is like a 5% difference, a little weakness that I can feel when I walk. My leg will lock a little bit, my right leg that is. It will catch the floor if I'm not paying attention to my gait, and I might trip up a little bit. Also, when I'm walking, my right hand doesn't swing naturally as a normal person would do. And that's one of the symptoms I noticed last year when I was doing my walks around Wenshin Park to lose weight. But yeah, I'll play a video of me walking normally, and you can comment down below as to whether you think you can notice anything different. But yeah, while I'm on the topic of mobility, I can mention a little bit about getting around in my apartment. Generally speaking, there's no problems in the apartment. The only thing I do worry about is my rather dodgy, dangerous staircase down from my bedroom, which at the moment doesn't give me any problems. But I can imagine if I get a little bit weaker underfoot, then I'm going to have to struggle with those stairs without the handrail. It's definitely something I'm going to have to think about in future. And other things in the apartment, such as bathing, showering, shaving, all normal. No need for any help yet. As I said, my symptoms are very mild, to say the least. Just a couple of little things that have been affected slightly overall. I think that's enough for this video. I'm going to wrap it up here and say thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions on my condition, then leave them in the comment section down below. But as for now, time to say goodbye. I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye-bye.